And we're back. Welcome everybody back to Aligning with Success. We've had a very, very busy and productive week. I'm sure most of you are aware. So I thought what we would do is a bit of recap before we pick up on where we left off last week. First of all, I want to congratulate all of the contributors to this past weekend's Master Day. It was an excellent production, good quality information, great content. So I want to give up a round of applause for all of those who had a hand in Master Day. So congratulations to all of you. Job well done. We appreciate the effort. We appreciate the work. Somebody's got their line live. If you wouldn't mind muting.
It's Mike. Markov, can you mute him, Mike?
Yeah, I can hear you. Nope, but that's not where the noise is coming from.
Not coming from Mike Markov?
Oh, it is Mike. Okay, there you go. Thank you. Okay, well, let's get started here. So we've got a few things that are coming to a wrap this month. We have the wrap up of our Kenko Ground promotion. And I just wanted to recap for everybody. I want to congratulate the top 3 contestant winners of the Kenko Ground Testimonials. I thought they did a fantastic job. For some of you who don't know what we're talking about, we'll share that information with you. Anyway, we had Christian. Is Christian on? I don't think Christian is on. He, for the second time, by the way, he won the top spot last time for the, what was the testimonial last time? The thing was the waterfall. He did the waterfall testimonial, got top spot for that video. Second place went to Heather. She did a great video. I like that video. She was the first one to contribute. I want to congratulate Heather Abbott for doing that. And third place went to Barb Satterwhite. Barb, are you on the line? Yes, everybody's sort of here, there, and everywhere. I know there's a bunch of people still participating who are normal visitors here who are participating in the 8-week course with our friend, Richard Brooke, author of The 4-Year Career. If you haven't got this copy of this book, I strongly recommend you get it. You can get it from blissbusiness.com or richardbrooke.com, either way. It'll get you there. And yours truly, my story's back here, which, by the way, helps if you want to do an ABC and you've given somebody that book and, you know, say Mike is one of our guys, I'd be happy to do an ABC for you on that. Anyway, so we've got those testimonials. So the contest, the official contest with prize number 1, 2, and 3 has been awarded, and the recipients have received their reward. But I thought, I've been getting a little bit more creative with this, and I thought, you know what? Those are such great videos, testimonials. They're all 60 seconds or less, which, you know, with people having a little bit of time on their hands, watching a video is, you know, the quicker we can make it, the better. So I thought, gosh, you know what? It's a waste if we don't keep using those videos for testimonials to drum up some more business, especially with this special that's going on. So I thought, why don't we just keep it going? So start up another reason to have a contest. It's drum up another reason to have a vote. And I changed the voting configuration. So it's still bit.ly.com. If you don't know it, let me just type this in. bit.ly / capital K. It's got to be spelt this way. Okay. Ground test it mo. Can't you spell testimonials vote. Okay, so it's got to be spelled with cap. It's cap sensitive for whatever reason this program is. So if you click on that link or copy and paste that, it will go to and put that in your URL. You can vote. And so what's the point of you voting? Not really a whole lot, to be honest. It's not about you guys voting. You had your chance to vote, top people. It's about you extending this product offering to other people, and you need a reason to call them. So sometimes you're a little gun shy about that. Oh, I don't want to really bother my friends with another special or another call or whatever. Or I've talked to my friends about the waterfall last month, blah, blah, blah. You know, you've got reservations. So I thought, let me give you an excuse to reach out and talk to these people and say, hey, listen, my friend here, let's just pick one. Let's see, let's go to this thing. And I'll show you what it looks like. So it looks just, let me expand the view here on the video, full screen. Oops, wrong way. Speaker view. There we go. Okay, so there's the thing. If you click on the link and you got all these videos, say, hey, my friend Livia entered the contest and I'd really appreciate if you would give her a vote. So you could promote any one of these people as your favorite and they can just run down, select. So testimonial for first place, you choose and you choose who it is that you want. That's Livia. So we're going to just choose Livia and that's done. And now Livia's our top spot. Now, of course, the purpose of this is not to really have another winner. It's to get people to go to that page and look at some of these videos. Because if they do, how did you feel watching those videos? They're very compelling, aren't they? How many of you have sold a Kenko ground based on any one of these videos? Anybody here? One, I see one hand, two hands, three hands. I saw, I had a message from, who was it? I think it was Barb Satterwhite, in fact, sent me a message today and said, hey, thanks for doing that again, because by doing that, I posted it on my Facebook page and I got a Kenko ground sale out of that. So that's the point, guys. The point is promote wherever you are. And this is something that gives us a tool to promote. And I think it's a cool thing. And I think I'll keep doing stuff like this for bringing attention to other products and building this repertoire of testimonials. Right now, they're all being posted or hosted, I should say, on my personal YouTube channel, michaeldimuccio.com. So you can find them there, or just click on any one of the links in the vote, and you can go there and find them. And you can favorite them on your YouTube channel, by the way, if you have that, or just save them somewhere. The point is, I'm going to catalog these things and put them somewhere where we all have access to them. And then, you know, anytime you have somebody asking you about a Kenko ground or a waterfall or the sport bottle, we've got testimonials on all three of those things right now. And we'll just keep building more. And I encourage you to do the same. It's a great idea. And now, not only that, but from what I understand, we're going to be getting some tools in the not too distant future that will make your, will allow you to leverage things like that, videos that you'll create for yourself with a button on the page that will drive them straight to the buy now. So imagine you doing a little video like that, and there's a button that shows up on that window, and the person's watching your video and they just click on that button and bang, they're in your shopping cart right on that page. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So getting to do some of these things is really important. And I want to congratulate everybody who stepped up to the plate and has done a video. I've got some comments from some people saying, you know, I'm not really, I think it was Kathy, who was a really high scoring video. She was like, you know, it's the first time I've done anything like this. I was, you know, I'm not even sure what I'm doing, but, you know, I'm happy to do it. And that's amazing. The thing about Nikk-En is every one of these faces I'm looking at are entrepreneurs. You're all owners of a business. You're not employees. You're owners of a business. And yeah, maybe you didn't have to invest $1 million or, you know, go through the school of hard knocks or whatever it is, but you're all business owners. And the goal is for us to continue to improve our business ability so that we generate a bigger business and that we can teach other people to do the same. So last week we covered a bunch of ground on lesson number 1, so to speak. You know, the basics of being in business in Nikk-En is first and foremost, identify yourself as a business owner, give your business a name, recognize that you're the CEO of that business. So while we are all in Nikk-En, we are all building our own Nikk-En story, our own Nikk-En business. Let's see, what else did I want to point out? Yes, let me point this out. So I just posted on my Facebook page, and I encourage you guys all to go to my Facebook page. I'm going to read it to you because it's my story. Oh, there it is. Okay, this is what I put on my Facebook page. Yeah, let me increase the screen here, speaker view. Well, yeah, there we go. Okay, so on my Facebook page, I put a post. I took a screenshot of, I can't remember where I got this, but notice I put a lot of stuff like digital stuff on the WhatsApp chats. Where do you think I get these things from? The second I see it, I take it and then I share it because it's content. It's good content. And this particular one tells us about our new product. So let me tell you a little bit about this new product from what I can tell you. Let me go back to gallery view. Okay, so let me read this first. So I wrote, hey friends, in all my years at Nikk-en, I've asked my customers and consultants of all the Nikk-en products, which is the one you cannot live without? The answer has always been 100% of the time, my Nikk-en sleep system. That says a lot about how important is deep restful sleep and how well the Nikk-en sleep system delivers on it. Well, a few years ago, this is a true story, I was invited to the 10-year anniversary in Colombia and had the opportunity to lie on a new sleep system based on all 4 technologies, FIR, negative ions, magnetics, incorporated into the original but upgraded rubber thane massage foam. I was so blown away in the 5 minutes I laid there that I've since been pestering Mr. Kasuda, the then managing director of Nikk-en Latin America, now CEO and president of Nikk-en Global, for delivery of this to my home in Canada at any price. And I literally told him, I don't care what it costs me to ship it there. I've got to have this mattress. Anyway, so I'm so excited to share that I just ordered my new Kenko Nature Rest Fit mattress topper. See attached. It is available to pre-order for May shipping. And I put my link that they can click on to go straight to my shopping cart. This product represents the ultimate base and regenerative sleep. Get in line to have yours delivered ASAP. Tell your loved ones. Now, when did we get news that this was available? Saturday, right? And as of today, this morning, you're actually able to click on a link online and place an order for it. And when did I order it? Today. Do you not think I have a sleep system? If you came to my house right now, and I absolutely kid you not, you will find 3 Nikk-en sleep systems in my bed. I have the original thick. Then I have the next pad. And then I have the latest pad. And now I'm going to have the latest pad. Now, why would I have so many Nikk-en pads, one on top of the other? Because they're all mine, first of all, and I don't think it's right for me to just hand somebody my bed that I've been sleeping in for years. But most importantly, because I want the latest, always. How can I not speak to that? And how can I speak effectively if I don't have it myself? And guys, I'm telling you, I am not kidding about that story. I've slept on every Nikk-en pad. My house has got Nikk-en pads everywhere. But when I lied on that mattress in Colombia, it was on a showroom. This is where we learned how to do the wellness home in the round, where you go from station to station to station to station. Well, one of the stations that they had was the sleep system. So they invite people to a hotel room and they let them in as groups, and they walk them through station to station to station, and somebody's presenting the station. By the end of that rotation, takes about an hour. They've had an entire product demonstration, introduction, business introduction, conversation about the 5 pillars, the whole thing. They have it all. Station to station, they pass these. It's amazing, great process. We started doing that in Toronto. In fact, some of you were at the event that we held in Toronto. We did that, the Humans Being More event. Anyways, point being, I laid on this pad and I'm like, oh my God, like I could just feel it just lying there. Like, holy crap, I gotta have this. And so I've been pestering him every time I see him. I said, you still haven't told me how much I have to pay to get that mattress in my house. So I'm thrilled that we have it now. I really am. And I'm so looking forward to it because it has it all. It has it all in there, and it goes back to the original finger-like tip massages of the rubber thane, which I think was, that is a technology in itself. That's why I said all 4 technologies. Anyway, so I wanted to let you know that yes, it's real. Yes, it's a fantastic product. And here's the most important thing. We're going to get testimonials on this thing like you remember getting testimonials on sleep systems. You know, just lying on it, you're going to get your own experience with it, and you're going to see what I'm saying. So how important are testimonials to our business? Well, if the videos that we've been doing, the promotion that we've been doing is any indication, it's everything. Talk all about the features doesn't get you anywhere. I mean, sure, it's nice to know this, that, and the other, but what really causes anybody, you know, John Livesey, what did he say? What was that whole production about? His whole training about? It was about your storytelling, because your storytelling, when it's animated and emotional, has impact. And people make decisions based on emotion, and then they justify the decision based on logic. So all the features and stuff like that is the logic. And yet you think it's important that everybody knows what the features are and not how it makes you feel. What part of this story are you going to remember? My Colombian story. What part of this story are you going to remember?
That you'll ship it, pay any price to have it shipped to you so that you can have it right now, and that you've been bugging him for 4 years.
That's right. That's amazing, right? Because that's me being emotional about something because of how I felt and how I feel about it. So that's the point. Stories sell. Facts tell, stories sell. And the only way to get your own story on any of these products is to be using them. So just throwing it out there. Get this product working for you, because it's going to work for you. It's going to create stories, and stories is what drives our business. And this is a great story. And it's a new story, in my opinion, because I have my own personal beliefs about the Nikk technology over the years, but I honestly believe this one's a leap forward. And so I think you're going to experience some testimonials that you haven't experienced in a while, and dramatic ones. And that's the stuff that makes this business zing. I'll tell you one quick story. So I may have told you this story before, but way back when I got started in Nikk, my very, very first month, we were manufacturing videos and audios. You know, we just copied everybody's stuff because, you know, I can get them duped for $1, and we were distributing tapes and videos to get people to know about this. We were using stories and tools back then. Anyway, so I was invited to a very, very high posh condo downtown Toronto by a guy who started a very famous tailor place called Tip Top Tailors, very well off, very well known clothier across Canada. And he joined Nikk, and he was this elderly statesman. He was about 75 years old, had a hat, a fedora. He would come into the meeting rooms dressed to the max with this fedora on. It was just such an elegant man and such a nice presence about him. Anyway, so he invites me up to his condo because he needed some tapes. So I went to his condo to deliver these tapes. He invites me in, and he sits me down in his living room, beautifully appointed, very simple but elegant. And he sits next to me, and there's a table between us. And he's like, you know, Mike, I haven't been able to sleep on the sleep system. And I'm all of a sudden, I'm kind of shocked and nervous and worried, you know, something's wrong. And he sees the expression on my face. He says, oh, no, it's not that. No, every time I get my sleep system, I give it to somebody to try, and one of my friends, and they won't give it back. That's what he said. So I'm feeling relieved. And then he says to me, but this time I ordered 3. So I finally got to sleep on it the last 3 nights. And then he gets deadpan serious, and he looks at me and says, Mike, I feel 20 years younger. And oh my God, I felt the tears swell up in my eyes. Remember, I was just a kid. I was just getting started this business. I had no idea what business I was in. I had no idea that this would be a career. I had no idea that this was going to have such an impact. When I saw that in this man and the way he expressed himself and how it made me feel, never mind how it made him feel, how it made me feel, I realized maybe for the very first time in those few weeks that I was in Nikk, this was incredible. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is like, who hears this? Mike, it makes me feel 20 years younger. Dead serious from a guy who I took very seriously. So, man, those stories, I don't know how far that propelled me, just that story alone, or I have no idea how it impacted the way I behaved going forward. I'm sure I was very, very emotional about it. I'm sure when I got in front of an audience of people, or when I was sitting in front of somebody, that story came out of me. And the way it came out of me, they felt the sincerity of it because it was real. And that's how important these stories are. Barb, you have your hand up? You're muted.
That's brilliant, Mike. You know, all the things that you're saying. And I remember there was a gentleman that was pretty active in Nikk and pretty successful. And it was probably back when Bob Proctor was eating our lunch. But and he said, and we had the big, thick mattresses, and we had the little toppers, and he says, well, you're only going to sell what you're on. What are you on? And we all had to stand up if we were on the big deluxe one, or if we, and I didn't have the deluxe one at the time. And I'm like, I got to get that thing. And so what I did was, I didn't stand up then, but I put an order in for it, right? So I put an order in because I'm their leader. I'm the leader. And how are people going to buy what I don't have? How is the vacuum cleaner salesman going to sell without their vacuum cleaner? You know, they're not on it. They can't experience it. They can't share it. They can only say, well, you know, if they could recommend it, they could do different things. But when you solidify it and have it, so yes, I've ordered it. I've got it. I got the demo where we were talking today about how to protect it when we loan it out, you know, already. But it's so great because it shifts your mindset on ownership and investing in yourself. And yes, you know what my box spring is? My box spring is that big, thick, basic mattress.
Exactly. That's mine.
I just kept moving it down, and now I've got a mattress.
And by the way, some people might think, hey, can you overdo it on magnets? No, that's the beautiful thing about magnets. The Gauss doesn't get twice as much Gauss if you've got a certain amount of Gauss. So it's not cumulative. It's just you're creating a more, the field is probably a little bit more evenly spaced. So yeah, awesome.
So, and then I'm real excited about the tourmaline in there. I think that's really going to be great. It's like a different soothing. And I've got to run, but I wanted to say, if you want to do one, that I'd recommend us doing the air system and compare somehow, you know, the fact that we had that article that Panama diplomats bought these things, you know, the
Police station.
There you go. The police station bought it. That's brilliant. I don't know how to, you know, leverage that in any way.
Well, just show people the story. But what I'm waiting for, Barb, is I'm waiting for Nikk to do something to feature that, because I'd like to time these testimonials to whatever promo they're doing, because that way then it creates the focus. And by the way, so what I'm doing for us in the field is what you can be doing for your own business. I'm saying, follow my lead. I'm following Nikken's lead. They're saying, hey, we're going to spotlight this product. And I'm saying, hey, let's spotlight this product. And then we're going to, how do we spotlight it? We do a testimonials. Well, then I created that contest to gather up those stories.
Own contests, and you can make your own games. I remember when, well, I won't go back into the history. I will be good about speaking futuristically. So what I have is I have a health fair. It's the first health fair we've got. It's May 1st, and I'm looking at raffling off the water bottle. But instead of just raffling it off, I'm going to put in there, why do you think you deserve the water bottle? And have them actually write in that. So I have that, because I have people that now repeat to try to win, right? These raffles and stuff. But I make a game of it. And so I'll either give a pair of socks away, or I give a chip, a power band. If people refer me 3 people, if you refer me 3 people and one buys something, anything, they get a bonus, they get a gift. And so I've started asking my customers, because why? Because they're our best cheerleaders.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know how to, but just make up a game and just have at it. you know? But anyway, thanks, Mike. And I'm on that Richard Bliss thing, and oh my gosh, I'm missing the class tonight. I got to repeat it, but I
Good
jumped on.
stuff.
I have a new consultant coming on here. So
All right.
thank
Awesome. My pleasure. Madeline, you had your hand up. Thanks, Barbara.
Didn't want to take more time. I was just going to comment, when you started the story, what I remembered is this elderly 75-year-old, but you ended it, because there's a few of us that are getting close to that, Michael, but you ended it with he felt 20 years younger. So thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Okay. So enough about that. I lost my train of thought. Okay. So we have this contest, and we now have this second wave of this contest to promote the Kenko Ground vote. Just go ahead and do it. Put it out there. You never know who's going to watch one of those testimonials, and it could change their life. And that person could join your business, and that could change your life. So gosh, it costs you nothing to share. So do it. All right. So let's get back to where we were. Any questions, by the way, about anything we've shared? I got one more thing I forgot to mention. The newsletter. I put it out to my organization, and I think Ben's going to do the same. We emailed those. Obviously, you go if you're subscribed to the Core Consultant newsletter, you're going to receive it. You received the one on the 19th or the 16th, probably twice because it was mislabeled the first time. But anyway, you got it. And then I copied it. Saved it as a PDF, and I broadcast it to my organization. So hopefully those of you who are on my team got a broadcast that I was promoting the newsletter. And then I remembered I forgot to add the link. So I sent another email and then said, okay, click here so that you could subscribe to the newsletter. And if you're not on the newsletter, let me just see. I've got the link for that as well. It's also a simple bit.ly. It's bit. Here, let me write it in here. It's bit. As I write it in, it works. bit.ly. Whoops. / capital C for core consultant, capital N for newsletter, and subscribe. Capital S for subscribe. All one word. Scribe. Okay. And so now clicking on that or using that link, you can subscribe to the Core Consultant newsletter. We think that's a really cool tool for us because we're able to bring information in a timely way that gives you and your team access to whatever. And in that newsletter, for instance, we included links to the WhatsApp chat so people can join the Core Consultant WhatsApp chat. We discovered something new, that we can increase the number of the WhatsApp chat up from their 267 or whatever their cutoff is to 2,000. I think it's 2,000 or 3,000 if people enroll just with the link. So it's awesome. So we can have a beautiful, large online gathering through this WhatsApp. Of course, we share so much on WhatsApp. So now you have this tool, the Core Consultant newsletter, to not only inform and inspire, but to connect. And so encourage people, especially new people, to connect and get that newsletter going. It also gives us a backup. This month we were supposed to be on our new system, but the new system doesn't have e-broadcasting, and it probably won't have for the first few months when it's up. I don't know, but we're not going to have it for a while. We're still in the old system. But it was a good, oh my God, how are we going to talk to anybody other than our WhatsApp chat? So we decided, let's get everybody, let's have a backup plan. The backup plan is Core Consultant newsletter. So it's a really good plan to have an email database so that we can gather up the community and have that real live connectivity. So that's another thing that I wanted to mention. Also, the fact that people can join. So I know a number of you have asked me, and I'm glad it's being recorded. A number of you have asked me, you said me, hey, can you add this person to the group? We used to do it that way. Now I will only send you the link that they can join themselves, because it's through that process that we can have a capacity of 3,000, not through the process of me entering them one at a time. That's a limited to 267. I don't know why that is the way it is, but that's the way it is. I've also started a Telegram chat for the tools. I think that because WhatsApp limits, if you joined a WhatsApp group, you only hear messages from the point that you joined forward. So a lot of the tools that we've uploaded onto the tools WhatsApp group, and if you're not part of the tools WhatsApp group, you definitely want to be part of the tools WhatsApp group. I'm going to start loading those tools over to the Telegram, because then anybody who joins the Telegram group will be able to see all the tools from the beginning. So that's another nice place to have. And one last piece of news. Boy, it's a lot of news. Ben and I are working together to retool, if you will, the Royal Alliance website, so that it becomes also sort of a place where we can just say, hey, go to the royalalliance.com, and that'll give you connections to all the things I'm talking about. So I don't have to waste everybody's time. Just say, go to the royalalliance.com. That'll give you connectivity to everything, everyone, everywhere. So that'll sort of be our hub for keeping everybody connected and on top of things. All right, so cool. Let me share my screen. We ended last week's meeting on this slide, and it was the idea of what do we do in Nikk-en? Like if we're doing Nikk-en in a way that's a business that has duplicity and duplication in it, there's got to be a pattern. There's got to be something that's consistent that we teach and that we aspire to create. So what we aspire to create, going backwards again, let me just get this slide going here. All right, so what we aspire to create is our core circle of influence. Hence the idea of the core, the core consultant, the core being, of all the people you enroll in Nikk-en, who are your core consultants? How would you identify someone on your team as a core consultant? If I said to you, hey, Madeline, tell me who's your core consultant, I'm sure Madeline has a pretty good idea of what that means, that it's not just somebody who is enrolled. It doesn't matter how long they've been in the business. That's not the issue. It's whether they're a core consultant. Are they a key component to the business, her goals, her objectives, the viability of her business, and so forth? Are they actively engaged as someone who is pursuing their own interests in building a Nikk-en business? That's the difference. And how I define a core consultant to a consultant, when I'm doing my presentation and I say, people will join as a consultant. In fact, let me back up for a second. So here's my presentation. So people will join as a consultant or a customer. But a partner, what's the difference between a consultant and a partner? It's a partner has a plan. That's the difference. They have an objective, they have a goal, they have a plan. Everybody's plan may be different. Maybe the plan is to achieve Team Kaizen. Maybe the plan is to go silver in the first 90 days. Maybe the plan is Royal Diamond, whatever the plan is. Maybe the plan is to make 5,000 a month or 1,000 a month or 500 a month. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just that it is something. It's a plan. And then my goal is to help that partner achieve their goal, their objective. So we work together, we co-work, we collaborate to create an outcome, and that outcome is based on that plan. So when I talk about a core circle of influence, this core partner, somebody who's engaged and has a plan. Now, they may not have my plan, they may not have my strategy. My strategy, the one that you see on this chart here, is a launch strategy. It's a strategy designed to help somebody kickstart their business, because I know that in the first 30 to 90 days of someone's life in Nikk-en could be all the difference in the world. And my goal is to help that person achieve a result that they feel proud of, that they feel is sustainable, that they feel can give them a story. Because their personal success story is something they're going to be teaching and talking about, like I do, like we've been talking about, like John Livesey talks about. We're talking about your story. Creating a personal success story is the best thing I can do as a sponsor. And helping somebody create that story means exposure to a lot of people in a short period of time. As Botanis would say, muchas personas rápidos. And so this is our strategy. Our strategy is to contact the people from our $1 million list and get them through this information process so that they can come to a conclusion as a customer, as a consultant, or as a partner, or if it's not for them at all, maybe they'll lead us to one, a prospect. So essentially, I'm expecting one of four things to happen. And I'm expecting it. I'm expecting it to be a partner, first choice, consultant, second choice, certainly customer, third choice, but in no way should I leave without something. And that should at least be a referral to somebody who they think might benefit from the information they've gained. And if I approach this the right way, I've asked for that in my first introductory call or my first meeting. So my contact and invite invitation process includes that. This may not be for you. You'll hear it, and I suggest you listen to it again as a recap. It's on the contact and invite audio on YouTube, and you'll hear me say it. You'll hear me say this may not be for you. So I always like to say that because you never know who they might lead you to. And if they don't feel threatened, if they don't feel offended, if they don't feel it's for them, but they still like what they heard, they might have somebody in mind. And that will lead you to another possibility. So your list of 100 names or your new person's list of 100 names should never get below 100. There should never be a limit. It's a limitless list. So your core circle of influence and your core customers are those who are embracing that wellness home. That's why you see those hands holding up that home. There's a reason we use these icons. They're embracing the concept of the wellness home. They didn't just buy a product. They're buying into an ideal, a philosophy. And so that's what we mean by that. And then, of course, the partnering process is what we taught, which I've been scanning over here. The three conversations we have to lead somebody through to a conclusion. And so that's what we do. We follow this strategy. We use the partnering process to create a core circle of influence. If you learn nothing else, this is all everything within what we do in Nikk as a business builders contained in what I've just described. Learning how to do this contains everything you need to know. A flow of information, people into that flow of information, and possible outcomes from that flow of information. Then the strategy is how many people in that flow of information in a certain span of time. That's it. Those are the two components. And so learning it, teaching it, getting better at it, and giving new people you sponsor the chance to get good at it is really your role as a sponsor. And then we go from there to build a business, duplicate that. So that's the recap of last week's. Let me just talk about, is anybody, but any questions out there? No questions. All right. Let me give you, if you have a question, just unmute yourself and shout out or raise your hand and I'll see. So let's move out here to returning on our investment. You know, the big terms in business, return on investment. Why will a person join you in this as a business? Because they can see potentially there's a return on the investment. Well, if you remember last week, the investment of our partner consists of three things. Let me just back up. Those three things that you see on the right: time, money, contacts. They're willing to invest a little bit of time. They're willing to invest a little bit of money to get some products for themselves so they can have their own story that they can talk about. And they're willing to invest not only their contacts is their capital. They're willing to invest their credibility, their reputation with their contacts. And the only reason why they would do that is because they've come through this information and they believe that what they have to share is of value. So these are the three things they need to invest. Now, like when we make a snowman, we make a little snowball first, and then we take that little snowball and then we roll that snowball in the snow and it gets bigger and bigger. Same thing. We take a little bit of time, a little bit of money, a little bit of contacts, and we roll that through this process into time unlimited, money as much as you want, and a network of contacts that can span the globe. How's that sound? You start with something and you grow it into something bigger. That's how this works. That's the goal. That's the objective. Notice I'm very clear about what I'm talking about. I use images because people see visions with their mind's eye. They see images. We think in pictures. So I use pictures to help people see the information, the concepts. So if you're not doing that, start doing that. You'll see you'll get better results. For instance, I have this card. This card is one of the cards that's available through Life and Balance Tools. That's simply the replication of some of these images. Why do I have these cards? Because I need these cards to share when I'm sitting down with somebody. I don't always take my laptop. I sometimes just have a card. I sit at the coffee shop, take this card out and talk about it. So tools for me is the leverage, is the mechanism I use to be able to tell the story. Just like when you're looking at a photo album, you're looking at pictures of where you were and who you were with, and you tell stories about it. Well, I use these tools to be able to tell the story of Nikk-en, but they're in pictures and people understand pictures. So let's talk about this reward on our effort. There's 3 curves here that you see on this chart, and I'm going to explain them really simply. Ultimately, our goal is to create certified wellness homes around the globe. And at first, when we're getting started, it's based on our activity. That's why we call it active income. And your active income, this blue line down at the bottom here, it goes up and down. It's somewhat consistent, but it goes up and down. I have some months that I'm doing 2,000 in volume, and some months that I'm doing 8,000 in volume. It's up and down. If you're Leo LeMay, you're doing 8,000 in volume all the time. But if you're Mike DiMuccio, you kind of just do this. But you know what? But when you get started at first in the person's first year, for sure, the volume is much more because there's much more intensity involved, especially maybe in their first 90 days. So this curve is on and off, on and off, on and off, kind of like that. A consistent, but it's not going to change. It's not going to be the thing that allows you to retire per se, because it's a steady cash flow. But what happens when your team starts duplicating it? When you start duplicating this core circle of influence, this is the green line, you start producing reproductive income, and it can start to get pretty exciting. When even though you're doing a certain amount of volume, your team is replicating that, it starts to grow and you start to hit some peaks. Maybe you hit silver, maybe you hit gold, maybe you hit platinum, maybe you hit diamond, maybe you hit royal diamond. I know that those are peak volumes, and then they sort of settle down and then they kind of steady up. And so that's a typical curve of the business over time, because as your business mushrooms, the volume starts to fall below. And so that mushroom, that swell starts to go below. But what's coming in behind the volume generated by the new people on your team are the customers that we're accumulating. I, after 29 years, am still accumulating customers. I'm not done yet. So that's that blue curve of mine down here. I'm still generating volume every month and creating customers. Well, those customers, like everybody on my team, is an ongoing and growing concern. That's the green line, that light green line. And so the big picture story is 3, 5, 10 years from now, 15 years from 29 years from now, you're going to have a huge organization with people buying and consuming products because they're customers for life. And when Nikk-en comes out with a new product, that could be a huge month or quarter or year for you. So for instance, Nikk-en did this new incentive this last quarter on the waterfall, and we've had one of the best March this past month was the biggest March in 3 years. I think it may have been maybe in 10 years. So the point is, when you have this customer base, then you start to pay attention more to the promos and stuff like that, because you start to understand the importance. Well, when you want to understand that, I'm telling you now, learn it now. The big picture in this game is to acquire customers. And we build a team to do that, but we don't do it once. We do it with some kind of steady. That's what the 4-year career talks about. The consistency of effort is what creates that swell. And so this is what it actually looks like in real life. Let me move on to so in our compensation plan, looking at this horizontally, I'm showing you this horizontally. This over here, this 20% represents our income from our personal activity, our active income, and our rebates. Whoops, let's get back there. And our personal rebates and overrides. So right here, you see this horizontal retail sales profit and rebate, that's our active income. Then down below that is the income that we generate when we build a network, when we build a team. That's our reproductive income. I should say that's the overrides. Up there's the rebates. Up here, here's the overrides. That's our reproductive income. And then the 6% leadership bonus, that's the passive income that comes from leaders who are business owners doing their own thing, building their own business because of their own motivation, growing an organization and growing a base of consumers, and that generates an income independent of your time. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to be of service. In fact, I consider myself of great service to my organization, providing incentives and doing things like these videos and whatnot. This call, this is part of my support to the ongoing concern of my business. So learn that those are the three streams of income. Why do you need to know that? You're going to be introducing Nikk to business people, more so today than ever in our history. And why do I say that? Well, where are these people coming from? They're coming from businesses that are shut down. They're coming from careers that they've been displaced because of businesses that are being shut down. And so these people think in these terms, they think in this language, and helping them to understand that this is not so foreign, that this is a lot closer to home than they realize. They're going to see that this is a brilliant idea because it affords them the ability to benefit like as if they were the owner of a large organization, a corporation, but without the downside of having to do investments, the downside of having to employ people irrespective of whether they're productive or not, the downside of the staging and the warehousing and all the logistics. They don't have any of that. So they have all of the upside through these forms of income, and the most important of all, the passive income, which is something that somebody, only 4% of the population, 5% of the population enjoy. So learning how to talk about your opportunity this way in these terms. Notice I'm not talking about gold and platinum and diamond and royal diamond. Those are stages along the way of building this business. But the income is what they're after, not the rank or the title. That means nothing to somebody new. What means something to somebody new is that they can make money, but not just make money. It's the way that they're earning that income. This is why, again, this book, The 4-Year Career, really points out the real ticket in this, the real distinction in our business is this beautiful thing of being able to grow an income that replicates and becomes passive. So I talk about this when I'm talking to people. It's a real life example. We have, of course, our incentive program, and our incentive program are like mini business plans. I gave you the 90-day strategy to launch your business. That's perfect. In following that strategy, you can achieve a lot of these early incentives in Nikk. I noticed that. So Power Start, for instance, step number 1, 1,500 points in somebody's first month. Okay, well, do we need a strategy for that? If you're building a business and you're going to leverage what's on the table, like these tools that I'm talking about, leverage the tools. Well, this incentive program is the greatest tool you have, because 99.9% of the people who join as a business owner are joining to make money. And therefore, the incentive program is your most important tool, because this is money on the table real quick. And it gives them the learning process and the steps to learning as they go. So have a copy. Do you have your incentive program? I don't know how often you're meeting with anybody, but if you are, do you have one in your hand? Or do you have a way for them to see it? Do you walk around with a tablet at least, or some way that you can show them this? Because guess what? This is the money, and people, you need to show them the money. If you're not showing them the money, then you're not showing them the business. And if you're not showing them the business, then they're not going to see the value of the business. They might miss it altogether. So just start looking into these things. You can order all this material from lifeandbalancetools.com. Don't go crazy, but just get something so that you become familiar. Or some of this is already digitally available. that you can download. All right, let me just show you an example. This is for illustration purposes, but if we don't have something, if we don't have a blueprint, it's pretty hard to build a house without a blueprint, especially a nice house. And it's pretty hard to build a subdivision of houses if you don't have blueprints and plans. So think of this as a blueprint. It may not come out exactly 100% right every time, but at least it's something we know we're striving for. Okay, so this kind of gives you an image, a visual of what I'm talking about, how to build this organization out. So let's take a look at this. Here I am, and the goal is to launch somebody and to help them create a core circle of influence. That's the goal of the 90-day strategy, or the 30-day strategy, the launch strategy. And then we're just going to duplicate that every 30 days with the core partners on our team. So at the end of the first 30 days, I'm hopeful that I will have consultants join my team, customers, and some of them will start to be showing themselves as potential core partners, and they will show themselves. I don't pick them, they pick themselves. So for instance, if you had anybody show, any new consultants join you at the Master Day event this past weekend, if they're not chomping at the bit right now to build this business, you don't have a core partner. That's really straightforward in my books. If after an event like this past Saturday, they still don't get it, they're still not, maybe, they're not a core partner. They're a consultant at best. Will they become a core partner? I don't know. Maybe something in their life situation changes and it forces them to look at this differently, but that's out of your hands. I'm just saying, if you did your job, which was get them into the flow of information, and one of those steps, important steps that we talked about last week, was getting them to a big event, and our biggest event on the schedule is our Master Day event. And after that Master Day event, they're still not chomping at the bit to run with this, then you don't have a core partner. You have a consultant. So I'm looking for who is chomping at the bit when I'm talking about a core partner. Okay, so here's the objective. We're going to help somebody establish their core circle of influence in month number 1, but we need a product strategy. Here's our product strategy. What's a product strategy? It's what am I going to use myself that I can speak firsthand about, and then I can promote. I can make a recommendation that others do the same. Well, how about we start with the water pack? Let's use that example. It's 500 points, easy peasy, right? It's great value. We get a discount, ship free. It's really the best exceptional value that we have for getting somebody started in the business to start off with. Okay, so I buy a water pack. My new person buys a water pack. What are they going to promote? They're going to promote a water pack. 9 out of 10 chances they're going to promote a water pack because it's what they themselves are using. And that's the philosophy. We ask people to follow us. We influence people to make a decision similar to the one we made for ourselves. Hey, this is what I did for me and my family. Maybe this is something you should consider doing for yourself and your family. That's a much easier way of doing business than trying to sell somebody something. Just refer them or recommend something that you've already done for yourself. So what happens? Month number 1, we go through that launch strategy. And if all we end up with is what we see here, I'm going to skip that for a second here, the auto ship. We have 500 points to achieve executive. That's 1,500. That means at least 3 people in this circle will have followed suit. Well, what do we know about a core partner? We know a core partner will follow suit. They're going to duplicate. So we know we've got at least 1,500 points from our core partners. And then we've got customers on top of that. So we may do well more than 1,500 points, but certainly in the pursuit of this core circle of influence, we attain our objective by promoting the water pack as a decision point through this information flow that we've been talking about. That's month 1. Not bad. You create, you get this recognition of power start as well. If you see that on the right-hand side. Okay, then what? We duplicate. Month number 2, let's say our partners, they were at the master day event, and they're like, oh man, okay, so let's get busy. Mike, can you clean up your schedule so you can be available to do ABCs with me in the next 2 weeks? I'm like, amen to that. You got my attention. Let's go. So now, is there a reason for them to have a list now? Yep. By the way, if you're looking for a planner, here's the one I use. My Nikk business plan, simple. That's it. Pretty straightforward. It says, make a list, check it twice. Let's find out who's naughty and nice. And so now we get busy in contacting, inviting, and moving people into this flow of information. So I help my 3 core partners do that, or my new person's 3 core partners. So now that's the goal, to duplicate the pizza pie. We just follow the recipe. And that volume would generate, and all that's happening here is we're creating one thing, a core circle of influence. 3 core partners, 5 customers. We may have sponsored more people, we may have more customers, but we're talking about just duplicating that. And that's going to generate a silver ship in month 2 for the first person. Okay, doing nothing more, nobody's doing anything more than the other. This is just following a pattern. And then what do we do in month 3? Again, a 30-day strategy. Who do we use that strategy with? The 3 newest people in each person's team, in each person's pod, the core partners that just joined. They, by the way, next month, there's this month of May, what will be the main event for next month? The main event of the month is going to be, what do we call it? Not Master Day, we call it
Seikokai.
Kinkokai. So the King, excuse me?
Seikokai.
Oh, Seikokai, that's right, Seikokai. Kinkokai, I'm thinking Club Kiai. Seikokai, this is the Japanese terms that throw me off, but Seikokai is the main event that'll happen in the month of May. So when these core partners that are new on the team, or the partners that joined, consultants that joined, get to the Seikokai, we're going to figure out who's the core partners. Well, if I have a plan, my new partner has a plan, everybody has a plan, we know what the plan is. Now it's just a matter of committing to the plan. We don't have to ask, what is the plan? We know what the plan is. We tell them what the plan is. It's part of the exploration of the information. They say, okay, let's do this plan. So come May, these 3 core partners on each pod start making the contacts and invites. And then what happens? They duplicate. And the first person that we started working with attains the objective of gold. So you can see that obviously this is everything went perfectly. But if you don't have a plan, and if you're not promoting a plan, you're not going to have a plan. If I'm not promoting the water pack, you're not going to sell the water pack. If I'm not promoting a business plan, you're not going to sell the business plan. And one of the things that you got to sell, moving a consultant to a partner, is the plan. How do you know if a partner is a partner if they don't have a plan? They got to have a plan. So I'm giving you a plan. Now, it could be any plan in the world as long as it's a plan, but I'm suggesting you have a plan if they don't have one themselves. And I don't expect them to, because they're too new to this to know what a plan is. But if you have a plan, say, hey guys, here's our plan. We're going to make a list, and we're going to put people of that list through a process of formation, just like you went through, and we're going to find out who's a customer, who's a consultant, and who's a partner. That's our plan. And we're going to use all the events that Nikk has on the table. We've got our weekly events. We have our Seikokai event, our monthly event. That's the event. Same thing that you went through last month. We're going to take people through this month. That's our plan. So if you're serious about making money, get serious about a plan. And you don't have to invent it. Let's just use this one. Let's adopt this one. So it's a plan. The point is, you don't duplicate product, just product strategy. You duplicate a plan. And when you start duplicating a plan, people start following a plan. And when people follow a plan, well, they're going to get results. It may not be perfect, but it's going to be a heck of a lot better than no plan at all. And so that's our idea. It's simple, it's effective. Now, people may start with more than a water pack. I've seen that all the time. Some people get a sleep pack, an energy pack, which is soon available again. And they could be doing 1,500 points just themselves getting started. So they're going to achieve the power start just in their initial product purchases. That's not the point. It's a great way to start. What is the point? The point is to promote. So if we went about our business of doing the exact same plan, only now we're working with a product strategy that incorporates a few more products, well, what happens when we promote that? We promote, we sell. And what's going to happen is you're going to see things accelerate. This is a plan that's far more accelerated because there's more products involved in the same effort. Okay, so again, this is a plan. And I can assure you, these plans have been effective for people who follow it. This is a little bit more aggressive, but the point that I'm trying to show here is the plan doesn't change. The plan is the plan. How somebody gets started in the business and what they promote, that might change, whether they start with a water pack or they start with an energy and sleep pack. That's up to them. That's going to accelerate just what happens following this, provided they follow the plan, because they're contacting the same number of people. They're just promoting it differently. So now we have to ask ourselves, is this worth doing? Is everything that Mike's talking about worth it? And that's where this chart comes in. So I show them this. I say, look, this is why it's worth it. Because if we do this, we build a core circle, you know, we just do it and we teach people to do it and we keep working at it. That's our focus. That's our plan. We've got the plan to build the subdivision. It might take some longer than others, but that's the plan. And so we work at developing that plan and helping people to achieve their objectives. What you're going to start to see is these numbers start to manifest in your organization. You're going to see on the left-hand side, this is the number of people joining your team and who's joining other people on your team. So that's your downline, generation after generation. Each of these people have their own customers. And that's that growing influence of customers that you have making a difference in the planet for sure. And then you have this, which is the profitability. The return on all of that effort is a growing income and you advance in rank. And by the way, this example that you're seeing, and I know Leo uses this example in his presentations, is based on 100 CV. This is a projection. Now, what you can do is line this up with the Nikk income statement. You'll find that Nikk confirmed that the 100 CV per month is actually a real number. So it's a very typical expectation of customers, wellness home consumers, to consume between $150 and $200 a month in volume. That's an average. And so the point is that the numbers that are being generated here are absolutely based on what's happening in real life in terms of people consuming. So as we build our organization, this is what we can look forward to. And that's the point of, is there a return on investment? Is it worth building? The only point that I'm trying to make here is it worth building? If we build it, will it be worth building? How many times have people gone to a job and they work and work and work, and at the end of the day, it's not really worth it. They spend 5, 10, 15 years at something, and after that time frame, they look back and think, man, was it worth it? It's consuming. Was it worth it? Did they build an asset? Is that asset going to continue to pay them when they stop working or when they reduce their workload? So demonstrating to people there's a value here. And that's why, again, I love this book, because this book does it in a generic way. It just says, look, if you build it, this is what happens. It's worth it. And you can do this part-time, which makes it possible. And now we have an audience of people in the world who are more receptive than ever because they're in need more than ever for a financial opportunity. So combining Nikk's incredible product line with this incredible business opportunity is something that we need to get just more proficient and more proactive at letting other people know about. And the better you get at talking about it, watch this video over a few times and just get good at talking about it like I do. I'm very confident what I'm talking about, because I know what I'm talking about. I've lived it, and I've taught others how to do it as well. I don't know. I've lost count. I've got at least, I don't know, 30 or 40 Royal Diamonds in my organization. So pretty sure that, tells the story itself. But it started with one guy living in his dad's house in a bedroom, sleeping on a twin-size bed. That's where my story started. And everybody has a starting point. But I can tell you one thing I did have: ambition. I had a plan. I had a vision. And I didn't waste any time out of the gate. I really didn't waste any time, because I had nothing to lose and everything to gain. And I'm telling you, there's people out there right now who are like that. They have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And if they get shown something with some degree of confidence, then they're going to bite. And so if you're not if you're not too confident yourself, that's okay. What do you do when you don't have the confidence? You ABC, you ask upline to help. Let them bring their confidence to the table. The best call for me, the most productive thing I could do in any day, is an ABC call with a new prospect, especially one who's asking the right questions. Can you make any money at this? Oh, I love those calls. So start getting those calls flowing upline. Start getting those calls coming to us. Let us answer those questions. Let us take those calls. We'd be more than happy to do that, because you know what? The answer is yes. And it's a big yes. And it's going to get even bigger, because we got a new product coming out. We got so much going on in the background that this year is going to make your head spin. By the end of this year, you're going to look back and say, I can't believe what we've accomplished in the last year. What's changed? What's been innovated? How far we've come? Our leadership, our management, our structure, our communications. It's like, this is like a whole new thing. It's the starting point of something big. Well, guys, I've gone over my time a lot. I once upon a time said these calls were going to be 45 minutes, and then they become an average of an hour. And now it's like an hour and 7 minutes. So I'm going to have to shut up. But I want to get all this in, because this is like number 2 of our video series of business, that this is really about building a business in a way that's strategic, with some planning involved, so that you're not just shooting from the hip, going left and right like a Yahoo, just thinking you're going to change the world by shooting from the hip like that. That's not cool. People need to know that you've got direction, you've got vision, you've got a plan, and you're part of an organization that has this in mind. So when they come on these calls, they're not going to hear terms that they're not familiar with. They're not going to hear concepts they're not familiar with. So hopefully that helps. And this video helps. It is recorded, so it'll be available shortly. I'll just upload it now. And it's always, as always, on the Royal Alliance YouTube channel under Aligning with Success as the playlist. Ben's calls tomorrow. Be sure to join in at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and hear one of our favorites. And I can't wait to hear what he's going to be talking about this week, because it's been such a busy week. So anyway, have an amazing month end, everybody. Make it a big one. Make it a good one. Thanks for joining. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Cheers.
Thank you, Mike.